welcome to the third edition of Irish Rugby TV's weekly magazine show, where we go behind the scenes with the Irish teams and report on the big events of the week in Irish rugby. Ireland faced the world champions at a packed Aviva Stadium on Saturday evening. Let's have a look back at how the day unfolded.
Is over. It's over. Your ball.
Jaco, that ball is grounded as far as I can see. I would have won it right.
He's got it. Leave it clean! It's done. Devin, a tough result to take.
Yeah, a tough one to take. It's probably proves why they're the best team in the world at the minute. I think 2 weeks ago we put a lot of pressure on them, and we didn't put as much pressure on them this week. But it kind of showed that when we did, we kind of got on top of them and we were able to hold the ball for a while. But I think it was just when they got them breaks and they stuck them passes, they kind of got in with a few tries. So I think it shows where we are as a team, that we can kind of hold them for a bit, but obviously a bit to go as well.
It's 1-1 between Ireland and New Zealand this year.
Yeah, it would have been nice to have another one, but decided, I suppose. But yeah, just proud of the way we performed tonight. Obviously, we came out from the start. I thought our defence was pretty good tonight. Our discipline probably let us down, kept them in the game a bit, but pretty satisfying that we could turn the result around.
A really tough match.
Oh yeah, they were in there for the whole 80 minutes, and we knew that. But I thought our defence throughout the 80 minutes was really sharp, and to keep them scoreless without any tries was pretty good.
Of a game.
Yeah, it was. It's a tough result to take, but we're judging ourselves off the best team in the world, so we can take confidence in knowing that we left some opportunities out there, and 1 or 2 mistakes cost us, but all credit to New Zealand, their quality outfit.
They came hard at us today, didn't they?
Yeah, you could tell there was an extra pep in their step, and that first opening 5 minutes we kind of sat back a bit off them too much and gave them a bit too much respect, waiting to see what was going to happen, but we'll learn from it and we'll come back better.
Ireland were back in Carton House today, where we got the latest team news.
Okay, so following last Saturday's test match against New Zealand, I can provide the following squad update. Robbie Henshaw was knocked unconscious by a shoulder contact to his jaw. He suffered a concussion and will not be involved this weekend against Australia. CJ Stander was removed for a suspected concussion and will complete the HIA process and the return to play protocols. Rob Kearney will follow the return to play protocols after suffering concussive symptoms post-game. Johnny Sexton has suffered a minor hamstring injury and has been ruled out of the game against Australia. Simon Zebo suffered from cramp in the last 10 minutes of the game, but is expected to train later on in the week. And Peter O'Mahony, Keith Earls and Ultan Delan are expected to return to training this week also.
How bad is Johnny's hamstring?
We don't think it's too bad. It's certainly keep him out this weekend, but the expectation would be that it may not be much longer than that. I mean, certainly the evidence is fairly clear that Robbie took a shoulder to the jaw, which knocked him unconscious. And Robbie was pretty well unconscious before he hit the ground. So he was back in the dressing room, very groggy. He's very, very sore still. So he came in this morning just to see the doctor and since returned home.
That case has been heard this week, Is it?
I presume so. Obviously, we leave that up to the judicial officers to organise that.
Steve Hansen has said, I gather, that they're going to contest that sighting. Does that surprise you at all?
It doesn't overly surprise me, to be honest with you. What I would say is that the sighting officer picked out 12 incidents during the game, and 11 of those incidents referred to New Zealand and 1 referred to us. And the one referred to us was the clean out of Sam Cane at a ruck, and we were cleared of any foul play in that particular incident. So it is very disappointing, I think, to be honest with you. I think that there was a number of tackles and bangs around the head. We had received the edict from World Rugby in the last week or 10 days, and Joe would have sat the squad down. He would have showed them the various footage, including obviously examples of tackles around the head and neck area. And obviously World Rugby had said that if these incidents occur, well then you are liable to a red card possibly. So that obviously didn't happen at the weekend. There was the yellow card for the high tackle on Simon Zebo, and certainly they're looking obviously at the other incident involving Sam Cane and Robbie Henshaw.
There have been suggestions from the New Zealand media that Ireland are whinging a bit. Do you think is that right?
I don't think we're whinging at all. I mean, I think the facts speak for themselves. So we're not, we don't actually cite anybody. We don't make any complaints to the citing officer, because at the end of the day, they've got the angles to look at the game. The citing officer tends to go through the game fairly forensically. And as I said before, he actually picked out 12 different incidents, of which 11 of them involved New Zealand and 1 involved Ireland, which we've been subsequently cleared of. Over the 5-year period, I think every year there's probably been more emphasis put on concussion and the effects, and more emphasis put on the tackle area, and especially I think in relation to high tackles. and they now seem to be, coming down really, really hard on that particular area. And I think it's obviously only in the last couple of weeks that we've actually got the new edict, even though I think the laws have been fairly clear that any tackle around the head, swinging arms, etc., they have been in the rule book for a long time. But I think referees have been told to come down really, really hard on anything kind of above shoulder height.
And if there was 12 citable incidents, does that mean that Jakob Paper basically wasn't doing his job?
I wouldn't say that. I mean, obviously the citing commissioner has got the advantage of different views. He's got time, he's got 24 hours post-game to look right through the game forensically. I think it is difficult for a referee to pick up everything on the spot. He does depend on his TMO, he depends on his assistant referees to pick these things up as well.
Jamie, when you look at the game and the pile of injuries after it, do you feel there is enough protection for players, or is it something that needs to be tightened up on in the game generally?
What type of injuries are you talking about? Because every game, well, not every game, a lot of games people get banged up, dead legs, tears, shoulder, knee, ankle. It's contact sport, people get hurt.
Do you feel then that the talk about the physicality has maybe been overplayed in the last few days?
No, they're physical games. I'm not going to hide the fact that it's a physical sport. You're running into someone. Kind of physics dictate that there's going to be impacts, there's going to be force, and sometimes lads get banged up. We have amazing staff that look after us here in Ireland, and in my club as well. Got amazing what's the word I'm looking for? Opportunities, maybe, or connections, or whatever you want to call it, into the different medical facilities around the country, to talk to the best people. A lot of people fly in from around the world to different surgeons, doctors in Ireland, and we can access them all pretty easily. So I feel as a player, we're very well looked after.
Jamie, what are you expecting from Australia this week?
Oh, from Czechs. I don't know. Like he doesn't know as many. Well, sorry, he wouldn't hands-on know as many players that he would have known in the past. From his tenure here in Leinster. But I'd say he is relishing this opportunity. I think they're playing some good attacking rugby. They've got a lot of threats throughout it. Make your life hard to attack against them with the ground threats that they have and the way they defend. And I think they're coming here obviously for a victory, and it's going to be a bloody tough game, truth be told, and Czechs is definitely going to have them in the right frame of mind for it.
Ireland women played host to Canada at UCD on Saturday. Here are the highlights from the game.
Good afternoon, you're very welcome to the Battlefield Bowl in UCD for today's match between Ireland women and Canada women in the second of 3 November internationals. Again, Canada looked around the fringe, they're only a metre away now, possibly referee goes in to inspect and is given the try. Canada 5, Ireland 0. Ireland struggled to handle the just physicality and the running power of Kelly Russell. Again, another bust there. And again, opportunity, this time it goes wide, and that's popped back inside. Julianne Zussman takes the return ball from Melissa Allery. Just as you said a few moments ago, Brian, she gave it early enough this time and they got their rewards.
Bobbles of the ball here and there as Andrea Burke slots the extra 2 points. She is 3 for 3 so far.
Lindsay Peat again. That's well taken in the end by 2 Canadian players. Again, there's an opportunity here for Ireland. Big hit. That looks like Latoya Blackwood is down. Leah Lyons taking that one on. Ireland's best position of the game by some distance. Muldoon away. Nikki Cahy, is she in? Yes, she is! Super score from Ireland. Great continuity, much better. Nelson Miller goes up to make the bust, but doesn't quite get it. Magali Harvey with her pace surely steps inside the last tackler, and indeed she goes over. And first chance really to see Magali Harvey in full flow. But Ireland getting that one into touch as referee Lamette just blows the final whistle.
It's a disappointing result, but we know what Canada are like now, and we know what the opposition is going to be, these big teams that we could be up against the World Cup next year.
Yeah, of course. We knew coming into this game that, Canada are up there, number 2 in the world. But to be honest, it's about the bigger picture. We had a massive performance there from our new caps. Welcome to international rugby. This is a standard that we're going to be playing at, and it's great to get it in now instead of coming to a World Cup, and that's going to be, upon us. I couldn't be prouder of the girls. From 1 to 32, whatever we have. Everybody put out their bodies on the line, and the amount of stuff we'll take from this game now, we'll learn and we'll bring it onto the World Cup and Six Nations.
And then just next week, New Zealand, another big threat next Sunday.
Yeah, it's absolutely amazing, to get these 3 games in. New Zealand, of course, they're going to be gunning for us from the World Cup. But once again, we'll take it back. We've got loads of video analysis to do, and we'll take it into next weekend. We've got loads of stuff to work on, different combinations again. And yeah, we just can't wait. We're absolutely itching for next Saturday.
Anna, first cap for Ireland in the 15s. How's it feel?
I'm pretty speechless, to be honest. It was... I remember Lynn Cantwell years ago when they beat France in Six Nations. She referred to it as like a video game, and that's kind of what it felt like. There was just so much going on, and it was just non-stop, and it was a real baptism of fire in my first cap, and I enjoyed every second. It was really hard. But it felt really good at times, and like what we were aiming to achieve, like the positivity, that drive together, congratulating each other on the pitch, and small little victories, we really got that at times, and it felt so good, and that's what we're aiming for, and it was amazing.
And that Canadian side, runners up obviously the last World Cup, they're a seriously good unit.
Yeah, and you can see, and they like to use their sevens girls. They like to whip it wide, and we were prepared for that, and we looked to kind of control that and bring it to them in our style as much as we could. And we still have a lot to work on, but they're an incredible side, so it was really good that we could keep with them for as much as what we did. So yeah.
You've got the taste of the jersey now, looking to add a few more caps to it?
It feels incredible. I can't even describe. So, my first, and I pray to God not my last, and I'm going to do everything I can to make sure it's not my last. So, yeah.
The IRFU announced details of its bid to host the 2023 Rugby World Cup. Irish Rugby TV talked to bid chairman Dick Spring and bid ambassador Brian O'Driscoll about the plans to bring a major international tournament to Ireland.
Dick, today marks a huge step in Ireland's bid for the Rugby World Cup 2023. A long road ahead, but what an exciting day here in Aviva Stadium.
Today is one of the most exciting days, perhaps to be followed up by a very exciting day next Saturday when we take on the All Blacks again. But today is a very exciting day for Irish rugby and for Irish sport indeed, in the setting out to win the World Cup for 2023.
The video that we saw today with Liam Neeson narrating, it's a real hairs in the back of the neck type of thing, isn't it? It should really appeal to Irish around the world, but anybody who loves Ireland.
I think that tomorrow people will be talking about 2 things. One, they'll be talking about our bid for the World Cup, but they'll also be talking about this powerful video. Thanks to Liam Neeson for being available to us. I think that's going to strike a chord right around the globe, particularly with the Irish diaspora.
As we said though at the beginning, still a long road ahead. What are some of the challenges facing the Irish rugby bid?
Well, we're up against 2 countries who have both hosted successful World Cups with big stadia and track record. If you like, we're the new kid on the block on this one, but building on the work that we've done to date over the last 4 years, starting with the feasibility study, we are satisfied that we can have a very successful tournament to satisfy the 2 main requirements. One, it will be financially successful, and secondly, it will not only be good for the game, but it will spread the game in the Northern Hemisphere.
Brian, one of the most exciting days here in Aviva Stadium that isn't a match day, the launch of our candidacy phase for Rugby World Cup 2023.
Yeah, it's nice to have gotten to this stage. An awful lot of work and resource have gone into putting our bid forward. We've now been accepted as one of 3 viable options, and it feels very real now. And the more you talk about it, the more you realise we're incredibly well equipped to hold the World Cup in 7 years' time. Besides what we're doing on the pitch, I think the stadia, the infrastructure that we have, the welcome that people would get, I think it would be unrivaled in what else is available to World Rugby, and I hope that they can see that.
As the bid ambassador, what's the talk that you're hearing out there in the rugby community?
Listen, I think it's it's not quite a toss of a coin. I think we're well positioned, but I would be one for absolutely not taking anything for granted. The other two countries have held it before, so that World Rugby know what they're getting there. We haven't, although we're in close proximity to the UK market, which is a big bonus, and definitely how our national team is doing, and the rugby that we're playing, we're definitely putting ourselves on a pedestal as well, which isn't doing us any harm. But it's very hard to gauge as to who the favourites are at this point, but you live in hope, and I think all you can do is make sure that everything is set up and aligned to put your best foot forward when it comes to decision time.
Ireland's Rugby World Cup 2023 bid was kick-started during the week with a fantastic promotional video narrated by Liam Neeson. If you missed it, sit back and enjoy.
Long before anyone can remember, there was a small island on the edge of the world, the last stop before the new world. And its people travelled the world, taking their place in the memory of the world. And the years passed and the world changed, and that island on the edge of the world found itself in the centre of the world, connecting the world, making the world smaller by thinking big, dreaming dreams the world could share, sharing with the world our own very special part of the world. And what have we discovered on this little island in the middle of the world? We've discovered the world likes the way we do things, and there's nothing in this world we can't achieve. Imagine a tournament, the envy of the world, a festival of rugby. More than participation, celebration, a world of memories for the world to share. We're ready to create something unforgettable. Ireland, ready for the world.
Tune in next week when we will review Ireland's game against Australia, bring you highlights from Ireland women's game against New Zealand, and catch up with some of the Ireland Sevens players who are set to compete at the Dubai Sevens.
To keep up with all the goings on in Irish rugby, make sure to like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter and Instagram. Thanks for watching. See you again next week here on Inside Pass.